Sometimes we need organizations and activists and warriors to stand up to these bullies of the Biden administration. One of the most disgraceful attempts to buy votes was the Biden administration pretending that it had the right to forgive student loan debt. And of course, by forgiving student loan debt, that meant that taxpayers were going to be on the hook for billions of dollars of student loan debt, a contract that a college student signed in order to go to school. And Biden and the Democrats came up with a scheme. Well, let's pretend we can get student loan debt forgiven, wink, wink, and we'll buy votes. And it probably worked. A lot of young people voted. I heard from a young person last night, happened to be in my family, who's furious at being hoodwinked by the Biden administration. I said, well, son, I tried to tell you. Here's a story out of WCVB Channel 5, Boston, explaining how the courts have overruled Biden's disgracefully unconstitutional student loan forgiveness package.
A federal judge in Texas is now ruling that President Biden's student loan forgiveness program is illegal. He's ruling against that program. So the lawsuit was filed by a conservative group in October on behalf of two borrowers who did not qualify for debt relief. The White House is now fighting separate challenges to overturn judges who blocked the policy. This comes as millions of borrowers are counting on debt cancellation by the new year when payments resume for the first time since the start of the pandemic. This all impacts about 26 million borrowers who have already given the Department of Education information to be considered for debt relief, 16 million of whom have already been approved. The president wants to forgive up to $20,000 in federal student debt for people making less than $125,000 and couples making less than $250,000. The Biden administration is promising to fight all of those challenges. Live in Cambridge, Brianna Borghi, WCVB News Center 5.
Yeah, you're going to fight all those challenges. Sure you are. And that conservative group the reporter is referencing is a group that you know well because we love Job Creators Network. And the president and CEO, Alfredo Ortiz, joins us to sort of take a victory lap, a well-deserved victory lap. Alfredo, my friend, looks like you guys are on the road to doing it and accomplishing the impossible, taking on the Biden administration and winning. Congratulations, Alfredo.
Thank you very much, Mike. It was definitely David and Goliath, as you can imagine. And but look, when you have truth on your side, it's amazing what you can actually do, right? And that's what we had. We had the law on our side. We had truth on our side. And the federal judge, we are fortunate, agreed with what we had positioned this case as, and he, I'll quote this, it was an unconstitutional exercise of Congress's legislative power, and it was indeed deemed illegal by the judge. Now, look, I'm not going to do a mission accomplished moment here, because this is obviously going to the Fifth Circuit. They've already appealed it, but we actually believe the law is on our side, and we're happy to take it all the way to the Supreme Court if we need to, because I think once again, the Supreme Court has actually already signaled to this White House very decisively in three different cases, EPA, Virginia, and also the vaccine mandate that we also took them to court with, that this kind of executive overreach is just not going to be allowed.
And you were able to challenge the administration successfully thanks to the support of people all over America who support Job Creators Network. And you and I sort of affectionately refer to your baby, this JCN, this great organization, as the little engine that could. You guys are feisty, you're smart, you're focused. We had a chance to hang out a lot on the Battleground Talkers tour, and Elaine Parker was out there with us, and Betty and your team. But Alfredo, I cannot state enough how important it is that we get the support from people all over the country to go to jobcreatorsnetwork.com, because you are truly a grassroots organization fighting for entrepreneurs and small business owners and standing up to the bullies of the Biden administration. And this has been a gigantic, gigantic win for Job Creators Network.
Yeah, it really is, and a gigantic win for this country. And Mike, let me be really clear about something. I actually agree that this is an issue that needs to be solved. This just mounting debt, student debt. I mean, I think it's $1.7 trillion at this point. But the problem is that we completely fundamentally disagree with Biden and the solution that he offered, which is let's go ahead and put it on the shoulders of taxpayers. Well, we disagree with that fundamentally as well. Look, Mike, there's $700 billion, that's with a B, $1 billion of endowment funds out there with these colleges and universities. And we actually say, you know what? Why don't we start with them? Why doesn't Biden bring this, the college, presidents of Harvard and Yale and all these guys that have, these billions of dollars in endowments, and have them sit down the same way he did the meat packers and the gasoline owners and the oil companies, right? Why doesn't he bring those in and say, guess what, guys? You created this problem by having double-digit inflation year over year since the Obama administration. You guys solve it, not taxpayers. And that's the issue. So we actually urge a conversation. I urge Elizabeth Warren, for example, to sit down with us and let's figure it out. She created a Consumer, Federal Protection Bureau. Why not go ahead and have policies that protect these students and these families from these loan sharks, quite frankly, and these colleges that are the true culprits, the college professors. I mean, think about it, Mike. They pay millions of dollars to these college presidents and college coaches, for football, for example, and then they build these gold-plated Taj Mahals with resort-style facilities. I mean, what's that all about? And why should we have to pay for that? I say Let's bring the college presidents in and let them figure it out and let them dip into their $700 billion of endowment funds.
Let's face it, Alfredo, this was a scheme that the Biden administration hatched to try to fool young voters into motivating them with free stuff and saying, come vote for us. Look at this. We're going to forgive your. They did this. This happened weeks before the midterm election.
Right, yeah.
And sadly, it paid off. A lot of young people voted Democrat.
Yeah.
And we won this week. Republicans won, but it wasn't the huge red tsunami that we had hoped for, thanks largely to young people who now feel like they were hoodwinked by the Biden administration for advancing an unconstitutional act that was never going to fly.
Yeah, and Mike, I really truly believe that they knew that. They knew that the merits of the case would work against them. All they wanted to do, think about even the timing of when they actually did this. They did this close enough to the election so that if in case they did lose in court, as they did with our case, right, they would still get that bump from the youth vote, which is exactly what happened, right? So I think they played the youth of today, and they're going to have to pay the consequences in 24 for that.
Well, I want to end on a personal note with you, Alfredo Ortiz, President and CEO of Job Creators Network, as we celebrate this huge victory for JCN. Again, a court ruling in favor of your challenge to this unconstitutional student loan forgiveness. You're the child of poor immigrant parents. You're the American dream. You became vice president of CSM Bakery Products Food Service Division, a $2 billion global food company. I mean, you showed what opportunity can await Americans. How's it feel to be able to be a giant killer like this? And like you said, David versus Goliath, this has to be incredibly personally gratifying for you, Alfredo.
Well, it really is, and thank you for the kind words, Mike. I mean, I love this country, and I've loved it, since I can remember how to love something. Right? It's just been a wonderful country. Like you said, I'm the son of immigrants. My mom was a housekeeper. My dad was a tailor. Only in this country can you go from that, picking trash cans, aluminum cans, to sitting next to the president of the United States in his Oval Office, which is what I did. I mean, it's an amazing country, and it can only happen here, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm humbled and honored to run such a great organization. But Mike, it would be remiss not to ask your audience, we still need help. This isn't over yet. So please go to jobcreatorsnetwork.com and please do help us.
I know they will. I know people are going to stand right with you, Alfredo. We're so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike.
Keep fighting the good fight, my friend.